Привет-привет! С вами Нелогичный Лис, и сегодня мы продолжаем прохождение игры The Cat Lady.
Hope you don't mind creepy posters.
It's your room. You can do what you like with it. But I definitely prefer this to fairies, rainbows, and pink unicorns. Did you make these?
No, my boyfriend made them. Some of them anyway. So, Miss Ashworth, I happen to have a bottle of wine in my bag. I was going to leave it to Robert, but I forgot all about it.
Robert?
The guy with the rats?
Oh, yes, of course.
So, shall we have a drink then? We could get to know each other a bit more. I know, I promised I won't get in the way. And, I mean, you don't have to if you don't feel like it. But since we're going to live together for a little while, it won't hurt if we talk to each other, will it?
Yeah, that's okay, I guess.
Great. I'll bring the wine. Oh, damn. It's one of those bottles with a cork. Have you got a bottle opener, Miss Ashworth?
In the kitchen. I'll go get it, shall I?
Yes, please. And while you're there, could you get a couple of glasses too?
Итак, друзья, напомню вам, что остановились мы на том, как попали к каким-то очередным маньякам, и Сьюзан ничего не осталось другого, как выстрелить в себя, чтобы покончить страдания. Так как с ней очень жестоко обошлись, на нее вылили кислоту или что-то в этом роде. А еще у нас появилась подруга Митси, которая сняла у нас комнату. Так, мы идем за штопором. Дело в том, что данную часть записи я делаю спустя некоторое время, и поэтому я не очень хорошо помню, о чем мы сейчас разговаривали, собственно говоря, что мы сейчас должны были сделать, но, по-моему, мы собирались что-то отпраздновать с нашей новой подругой. Да, вот фужеры можно взять. Да, и поэтому нам нужен штопор и фужеры. Так, вот, здорово. Вы посмотрите, вы видите этого кота? Вон кот на картинке, посмотрите. Блин, я его только сейчас заметила, вы гляньте, какой он толстый и симпатичный. Блин, потрясающий кот. Что ж, музыка сменилась. Все теперь выглядит совсем не так плохо. Итак, Митси, привет. Эй, 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 да, вот.
Have you found that corkscrew yet? We also need some wine glasses.
Ну погоди, да. Вот.
I found some wine glasses.
Great. Now all we need is a corkscrew.
Хорошо.
There you go. Let's get that bottle open.
All right. That's all we need. Oh, and Miss Ashworth, I really must say this before we start.
Yeah?
I promise I won't cut your throat when you're asleep.
Very funny, Mitzi.
Oh no, I mean it.
That's fine. But just so you know, I always sleep with my eyes open.
Ну вот, музыка сменилась. Хорошо, ладно. Буква «Р». Хочешь о ней поговорить? Да, насколько мы помним, у Митси неизлечимая болезнь. Она страдает от рака, и, к сожалению, она умирает. Дождь кончился. Как ты планируешь найти этого парня? Даже не знаю. Давай пока так.
Oh, it's not raining anymore.
Oh well, I don't mind rain. Sometimes I even like it. But according to weather forecast, there's a nasty fog coming. Now that I'm actually scared of. I got lost in a fog once, when I was just 9 or 10. I remember I sat under a tree crying, thinking some monster would appear right in front of me and drag me away.
But now that you're a big girl, you know there are no monsters.
Yeah? How do you know?
Ну, как тебе сказать, откуда я знаю? Когда не видел ни одного, никто не видел, может и так. Проверю, когда увижу. Монстры это только мы, убийцы, не, ну вот так.
I've never seen one, nor has anyone else.
That doesn't prove they don't exist. You just never came across them, and those who did never lived long enough to tell the tale. But anyway, I'm not saying I'm still that terrified of fog. I mean, I've grown up and all. I just don't reject the possibility that they might be out there somewhere. Like aliens and Elvis and God.
Come to think about it, I've come across some pretty weird things. Especially recently.
Да уж.
Yeah? Like what?
Oh, it doesn't matter. I probably just dreamed it.
Ну, блин, почему? Я бы поделилась своими приключениями, честное слово. Так, как ты планируешь найти
How are you
парня?
planning to find this guy?
I don't know yet. A bit of detective work, perhaps.
Это здорово, я люблю.
It shouldn't be that hard, really. There are only 8 apartments here. One is yours.
Люблю
That leaves us
детективы.
with 7. I was hoping that you could give me a hand, actually. You know some of your neighbors, don't you?
Not many. I never really cared about them. They changed over the years too. You probably also figured by now that this is not the sort of place where new neighbors are greeted with a freshly baked cake. You see a new face, you give them a blank stare as you pass them in the hall, and you forget about them a minute later.
That bad, eh?
Well, there's that bald guy who lives above me in flat 5. He came here recently to shout in my face. He's a nasty piece of work, but I really don't think he's the person you're looking for.
What does he do for a living?
I think he's a train driver.
I can't imagine somehow that my guy would be a train driver. Okay, that's good. Leaves us with just 6. Anyone else you know?
I'd have to think.
You know, maybe not tonight. Let's just talk about something else, okay? I have plenty of time. There's no need to rush this. Maybe tomorrow we could sit down together and make a plan.
Да,
We could draw a
давай.
simple map of the building, and with your help, mark down who lives where.
Да, здорово.
Sounds good to me, Mitzi.
Ну, тот парень, который лысый и машинист, мы же обещались сломать ему ногу, так что, в принципе, его можно будет тоже навестить.
So, the big C. Want to talk about it?
Well, to be honest, I didn't really want to tell you about it like that. I put you in a very difficult position, I know. It's just that I was really desperate to get this room. I hope you can understand. This is the last and most important thing I must do before my time is up.
It's fine. You seem alright. It's just... I find it hard to trust people these days. Maybe it's time I opened my eyes to see others have problems too. Some like yourself, even bigger than mine. What kind of cancer is it? Do you mind me asking?
Brain tumor. Her name is glioblastoma.
Huh.
Yep, they're all girls, the way I imagine it. Just look at their names. Lymphoma, melanoma, myeloma, leukemia, sarcoma. Each of them a fucking goddess of death. Beautiful and ruthless.
You might just be right about that, Mitzi. I used to be a nurse. I know a few things about cancer. And I know glioblastoma. She's a real bitch.
Yeah, and yet she gets to be the prom queen before night ends, while I disappear down the back exit.
How long?
They said I had a year. But that was 6 months ago, so... yeah. Not awfully long.
Is there anything...
They've tried.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So am I. Do you want to talk about something else?
Да, очень, конечно, это печально. Молодая красивая девушка умирает, и нету надежды на спасение.
You mentioned a boyfriend. Tell me something about him.
Yeah, okay. Let's talk about him. His name is Jack. He's dead.
Да что ж такое-то?
Oh.
Miss Ashworth, are you sure you want to listen about my miserable life? I don't want to bring you down. These aren't happy stories.
Нет, я хочу
And
послушать.
I'm not a happy stories kind of person. I'm sure you've noticed by now.
I guess so. Anyway, I suppose I would have had to tell you about Jack sooner or later. After all, he is the main reason I'm here. I just don't know where to start.
Ну, давай так. Значит, знакомство, новость, картина, как он умер. Нет, давай вот так.
Tell me how you two met.
Oh, we knew each other for like forever. We grew up on the same street. It's funny how we seem to be made for each other. A perfect match. I always knew he was the guy for me, and I'm sure he never doubted that either. Jack was absolutely crazy about me. We thought one day we would marry, have children, be happy. I never had many friends because I had Jack. I didn't need anybody else. You know, if there's one thing I'm really grateful for in my life, it's that I got to experience this pure, perfect love. Some people go through a lifetime without knowing how it feels. I guess I've been very lucky. But all luck runs out sometimes.
Jack made those pictures on your wall. Was he an artist?
He always liked all kinds of morbid stuff, whether it was music, movies, paintings. So do I, really. We had that in common, amongst other things. People say it's depressing to listen to sad songs or watch sad films, but I never felt that way.
And yet, you are scared of fog.
Oh, that's different. I might be scared of fog, but I like spiders. They're beautiful.
Нет,
You must be out of your mind,
не
Mitzi.
противные.
No, honestly, there's a certain indescribable beauty in sadness.
Ну это да.
Just like there's beauty in the grey and ugly winter morning when you look past the obvious and notice what others can't see.
You must love my apartment then. It's like Ugly took a vacation here and never went home again. How did he take the news about your cancer?
He thought I was joking at first. He laughed. Then he got really angry. I swore to him I was serious, but he still wouldn't believe me. We had a big fight that night. It was our first and only fight. But it was awful. He smashed some stuff. His guitar, of all things, was the worst. He loved that guitar. Why did he break it? He was absolutely furious. He walked out on me that night, and when he came back the next day, he was different. Begged me to try surgery and chemotherapy. I didn't really want those things, but I did the chemo for him. It didn't help. It just made me feel sick all the time. I felt trapped in this strange place where nothing that happened around me seemed real. Maybe that's why I didn't see what my cancer was doing to Jack, and it was destroying him as well. He changed. He became obsessed with death. It seemed death was all he ever thought about, even though it was me, not him, who was supposed to die.
How did he die? How did Jack die?
It was so distant in the last few weeks before he died. What I didn't know was that he kept looking for something. I don't think he even knew what exactly. But it eventually found him. Or rather, he found him. There are those forums online, you know, about all sorts of stuff. Fishing, computer games, horses, gambling, addictions, everything really. Accidentally, Jack stumbled upon one about suicide. There's a guy there, calls himself the Eye of Adam. He's a fucking god on that forum. It's like a failed suicide club. People mostly try to help each other and offer support. Sometimes it just helps to know there are others like you, to listen to their stories and how they cope with their lives. But the Eye of Adam is an advocate of death. He dwells on human weakness. His job is to plant an idea, to give them a reason to die and tell them how to do it, once and for good. Jack took the bait. Before he knew, he was completely brainwashed. One day he sat down with me and tried to explain his perfect solution. It was the Romeo and Juliet kind of scenario. We were both to die together in each other's arms. It was supposed to be a quick and foolproof death. There was no chance we would have been saved, all thanks to the Eye of Adam, who created a tool for perfect suicide. He told me it was very simple. All we needed were 2 easily accessible household chemicals, which combined together create a gas called hydrogen sulfide that kills you within a couple of minutes. I told him he was fucking nuts, of course, but he just wouldn't give up. He reasoned with me, and he begged, and eventually just kept screaming at me. I figured it was his crazy idea of a modern romance, but it was downright tacky and just wrong. Finally, he said he would get everything ready and wait for me in our special place at dawn, 5 in the morning. Don't be late. Those were his last words he said to me. Then he stormed out. I cried for hours, thinking I didn't deserve all that from the person I loved most in the whole world. A few times I even tried to persuade myself that maybe he was right and I should do it. But I just couldn't. I eventually fell asleep. I didn't plan it. My head was killing me. I was so tired. I woke up suddenly. I could see the sun rising out my window. It was nearly 5. In utter panic, I threw myself off the bed and ran out the door. I needed to stop him. I needed to get there before it was too late. But right there in my bedroom, before I even left, I already knew it was. When I arrived at our special place, it was already bright. We used to go there in the past, drink wine, sometimes smoke weed and listen to Pink Floyd, sometimes make love in Jack's car. There wasn't really anything special about that old parking lot. But to us there was. It was completely abandoned. It was quiet. It was safe. After that day, I've never gone there again.
Итак, и что же мы должны остановить сейчас его? Какой же он все-таки неправильно он поступил? Это очень эгоистично с его стороны. Ведь девушке нужна помощь, а не то, что возьми и убей себя. И что тут? Так, что происходит? Ой. А, газ внутри. Глупый. Глупый парень.
I'm so sorry. I think now I understand. He loved you so much, he couldn't bear the thought of living without you. And that guy, the Eye of Adam. I'm not surprised you want to find him. I know I would. I'm not sure if I should believe that you only want to talk to him. But hey, that's none of my business. I wouldn't know what I'd do if this happened to me.
Good to know, but I really just want to talk. I want to face Jack's killer and tell him what he's done to me. You know, the funny part is that he actually told me where he lives. He wants to meet me. Would you believe that?
How come?
Well, this kind of thing he does is called trolling on the internet. It's usually a form of extreme bullying and psychological cruelty. Those who are clever enough say, don't feed the troll. Don't talk to them. It only makes it worse if you show any interest in them at all. And Eye of Adam is no exception. He craves attention. He's a hungry troll who wants to devour as many hearts as he can get a hold of. I emailed him and told him I was a massive fan who loves his work. He wouldn't believe me at first. But trolls are always hungry, and I was prepared to serve him a meal fit for a king.
What do you mean?
I fed him so much bullshit that he really believed I'm a suicide preacher just like him.
Great. I wish he'd given you his door number, though.
It's all a part of some sick game he's playing. Sooner or later, I'll find him.
How strong is that gas?
Extremely deadly, it turns out. It kills in minutes. It's that stinky stuff that smells like rotten eggs, you know? At high concentrations, it can knock down an elephant.
There were signs on the car windows.
Warning signs, yeah. I found on that forum that the Eye of Adam doesn't want any accidental deaths. So he posted this poster design for people to print. It turns out there's a whole sick ideology behind it. Fumes from the car could hurt anyone who opens the door, and that's not the point. The idea is to die willingly and with clear mind, to prepare for it, to embrace it.
Jesus. You'd think the police would investigate the whole thing. Sounds almost like a sect.
This guy knows how to hide. The police can't be bothered to make an effort. It took me 3 months to track him down. Now I'm finally so close. I can almost smell that fucker.
What are those two chemical products?
Well, I'm not sure if you want to know that.
Боится, что...
I get it.
Ага.
You don't want to tell me because I'm a fucking suicidal maniac. Is that it?
No, Ms. Archworth. No, I didn't mean it like that. Okay. Maybe to some extent. Just replace maniac with victim and fucking with recovering. You've only just come back from the hospital. Whatever it was that made you do it, you proved you are capable of going through with it. I don't know you long enough to tell you if you're completely over it now. And the last thing I want is to give you stupid ideas. It would be just like what the Eye of Adam does. I would never forgive myself if anything happened to you because of me. I mean, how could I?
What if I promise to you I will never do it again?
Okay. Alright. But if you don't keep your promise, Miss Ashworth, I'll find you in hell and kick your lying ass for breaking my already broken heart.
You can't kick my ass when I'm dead.
I'll soon be dead too, Miss Ashworth. So, yeah, I swear I will do it.
I don't think so.
Митси очень милая девушка.
You'll go to heaven, you muppet.
Так,
The recipe
что-то
for this
случилось.
deadly cocktail is very simple. Any good housewife can make it in a blast.
Ах, ну да, конечно, мы же опять оказались в этом ужасном месте, где на нас вылили кислоту. В общем, нам ужасно изуродовали лицо, и теперь мы после того, как убили себя, ищем выход отсюда. Для начала я бы хотела не то, что найти выход, а хотя бы понять, где я вообще и почему я здесь. Так, что это такое? С той стороны двери слышен какой-то шум. Ну-ка. Ой. Тихо. Может быть, мы можем ему свернуть шею? Или взять вон ту винтовку? Так. Ну ладно. Ведро. Смотреть ведро. Это ведро, спасибо. Так, а почему я иду задом наперед? Ладно, неважно. Так, хорошо, значит, он спит там. Ловушка для кошек. Вот этим они ловят кошек. Мне казалось, что такие хваталки давно были запрещены. Взять. Ну когда за холку, что ли, такую штуку. Ну да, рогатина. Так, а где стаканчик? Стаканчик ведь нас спас. Где он есть? Может быть, мы сейчас можем просто убежать? Ведь этот парень на машине приехал. Так, что такое? Часы. Дверь кухни, лампа, часы. Так, часы. Это старые дедушкины часы. Похоже, они до сих пор ходят. Ну, здорово. Открыть. Ага, как будто там внезапно обнаружится тайный ход. Пусть вперед к вратям станет кто-нибудь другой. У меня и так было достаточно неприятно. А вдруг там тайная комната, не знаешь? Во, улица. Отлично. Все, Сьюзан, пошли. Ты умеешь водить машину? Надеюсь, что да. Дверь заперта. Ты вставил телефон на водительское сиденье. Может, я смогу позвать на помощь, если проберусь к ним. Так, нет. Так дело не пойдет. Фургон обыскать. Я даже рада, что была без сознания, когда меня сюда притащили через окно. Видно, что там жуткий бардак и повсюду кровь. Но задняя дверь заперта. Интересно, не найдется ли здесь запасного ключа? Так. А как вообще, то есть... Так, стекло разбитое. Как вообще может быть такое? Шатающиеся кирпичи. Сильно пострадала. Наверное, он как-то въехал в нее на своем фургоне, господи. Кривой, что ли, совсем. Все равно вытащить кирпичи ровным камнем не получится. А попробуй вот эту штуку взять, использовать. Нет? Ладно. Тогда пошли отсюда. Я не знаю, надо их убивать, не надо. Вроде они спят там все. Так. Как мы вообще сюда могли попасть? Я не понимаю. И как вообще этот парень может... Эй! Что это было такое? Как вообще этот парень может работать в контроле по животным, если у него там такой бардак? И мне кажется, он работает без лицензии. Да что ж такое? Вот так. Мы не можем уйти. Понятно. Значит, нам придется как-то здесь... существовать пока что некоторое время. Ну что ж, пошли сюда, обратно, так. Что тут есть? Дверь кухни. Ну, пойдем на кухню. Что это такое? Что здесь? Бутылки. Пустые винные бутылки они любили выпить. Ничто не сравнится с слегка недожаренным кошачьим стейком под бутылочку. Фу, какая мерзость! Вот здесь она готовила грязный сковороду, до сих пор воняет. Да блин, кошачьей едой. Ножи. Все они жутко тупые. В качестве оружия точно не подойдут, черт. Подожди, как это? Вообще не... То есть совсем... А зачем тогда тупые ножи-то? Они же вон маньяки, у них тут кровь повсюду. Смотреть, все такое склизкое, наверное, она не часто моет пос... Ой, ой, как противно. Так, смотреть, везде размазана кровь. Я не хочу знать, что там. А, заклеим, может, это и к лучшему. Да, да, тогда это к лучшему, точно. Слушайте, а как же они живут на отшибе, что ли? Такие маньяки, я не знаю. Их же издалека должно быть видно. Так, стол. Что стол? Осмотреть. Остатки еды валяются на обеденном столе. Все. Фу, господи, Иисусе. Картина. Смотреть. Маленькая картина с изображением уличного стойла ночи. Чего? Картину взять можно? А зачем мне картина-то? Может быть, мне ее можно будет ударить кого-нибудь? Так, спрятаться еще можно под столом было. Не знаю, надо было прятаться, не надо. Вроде пока ничего такого страшного не происходит. Что такое? Что такое? Сьюзан, ты чего?
Well, well. Boxes full of bleach. I suppose I deserve a bottle. I've worked hard for it.
Ага.
This reminds me of something.
Что это напоминает?
The first thing you need is a strong toilet bleach. You know the kind. Not just a regular bleach, but one that makes your eyes all watery and skin itchy.
Ага. Вот так вот. Ой, что это
What's
такое?
going on?
Кошки.
Something is wrong, Mitzi. The cats are alarming.
That's exactly like when I found you, Miss Ashworth.
We've got to check what's going on.
Oh, I'm really sorry, but there is no way I'm going out in this fog.
Ой, Митси, как ты не вовремя боишься вообще?
Fine. I'll go on my own then.
Так. Ага, вот как. Мы вернулись в прошлое, и теперь мы, наверное, узнаем, что же с нами случилось. Нам куда так? Здесь квартира какая-то. Холл. Так, холл. Такой ужасный дом старый вообще. Тут бы ремонт тоже не помешал. Так. Значит, понятно. Теперь мы узнаем, что происходит, наверное. Мы узнаем, как мы попали к тем сумасшедшим. Ну да, вот она как раз эта машина. Так, а если я не пойду к ней? Что такое тут? Господи. Чё напугал-то вообще? Машиной. Ладно, ладно, иду. Туда нам нельзя.
Bloody fog. Can't see a thing.
Здравствуйте.
Someone could be getting murdered 2 feet away, and not a soul would notice.
Плохие разговоры вообще, ужасно.
But still, it could be worse. At least it's not raining, eh?
Как ты вообще
Always
себя?
look on the bright side, they say. And I always do.
Ха-ха-ха.
Not a talkative type, are you? What's your name, sweetheart?
Ну, знаешь ли, я не хочу тебе говорить.
Don't be such a scaredy cat, sweetheart. You're Sьюзан, aren't
Нет,
you?
не я.
A kind man had described to me
Значит, это он все-таки
what
был.
you look like.
Мгм.
And what can I say? He was spot on.
What do you want?
I'm just here on a job, sweetheart. Nothing more. I had a call, you see. There's a cat problem. And apparently, some crazy cat lady keeps making it worse for everyone. A crazy cat lady called Sьюзан, I was told.
Ну, она не кошатница сумасшедшая.
You ain't gonna like it, sweetheart, but I'm taking you for a ride.
Мгм. Вот оно что. Понятно, значит, этот противный мужик все-таки позвонил и Так, давно была приличная скатерть. И позвонил, и все-таки настучал на нас. Причем ни за что, просто за то, что мы там сыграли один раз на пианино. Ну ничего, я ему еще устрою, если выберусь отсюда. Здесь они моются, вода какая-то странная, словно смесь грязи, топливного жира и бензина. Что она делает в ванной? Все ржавое, склизко. Что такое? Там чьи-то ноги были, я не хочу. Фу, какая гадость, Господи Иисусе. Вода выглядит совершенно отвратительно, на запах с души воротит. Боже, я вообще не знаю, как она там находится. Мне даже отсюда нехорошо уже. Мама. Мамочка. Не хочу. Ну-ка еще раз. Блин, здорово, мне нравится. Так, взять ключ. Ключ. Нет, я вот его в руку не суну, ни за какие ковришки. Чтобы достать ключ, мне придется дотронуться до него. Я в своей жизни повидала немало трупов, но это самый жуткий из всех. Не суну. Мне хоть прям под головой трупа. Ой, Господи Иисусе. Так, а как нам его достать-то, ключ? Или что там? Там же ключ, да? Я не знаю. Так, что у нас? Вот, ткань, может быть. Так, может как-нибудь... Так, нет? О! Так. Нет. Не, ну картины-то точно нет. Что там с ножом можно сделать? Никудышнее оружие? Нет. Ну, как сказать никудышнее? Если в глаз ткнуть, так очень даже неплохо. Так, что, может так? О! Смотрите, здорово. Отлично. Хорошо, можно я не хочу знать больше ничего, что там происходит. А как они вообще здесь... О чем я вообще... Здрасте. То есть тебя не... Эй! Так, используй! Давай, вперед! Нет, давай так. Давай, налить на нее. Что значит нет? Давай! Так, да хоть какой! Блин, что делать-то теперь? Что делать? Эй! О, мама! Вау! Ого!